Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 1533 Eagle Padlock Key Blank. This is a key blank from Kaba Ilco for an Eagle keyway that is obviously intended to certainly operate a padlock, I imagine. I'm not very familiar with the history of Eagle keyways. That would certainly be references to mid 20th century sort of work. I don't even know if I have. We collect, scan, and upload to our website our historical catalogs. I have nothing from Eagle at all, so at least at this time. So here's what we do know about this: that it is a 1533 Kaba Ilco. It has a milling profile, as we can see in the extended description down below. And that's as if you're looking down into the cylinder. So if you were to look at the key blank from this orientation, you have to, in your mind's eye, flip that around, because you're not looking at the key blank. It's as if you're looking at it this way. So that's the trick with that. But let's see if we can discover anything else about it, if possible. So let's switch to the screen view, and we can take a look at the supporting documentation. So this is indeed the supporting documentation. Link to the manufacturer's page here. And as that page comes up, we can get to the key blank catalog, which is here. So let's go ahead and open up that document and take a look. Let that load. .500 pages worth of information. Let's search for Control F for 1533. We will ultimately find the page where it's located under Eagle Padlock. Eagle Padlock here, a double-bitted style lock, obviously. A wafer lock is what that would certainly be. A wafer tumbler. We know that because of the way that these cuts are shown to emulate. A valley with a peak in line. This would be this could be a wafer lock as well, maybe a pin tumbler. Again, I'm not familiar with Eagle padlocks. But the important thing is you can search the document for 1533 and find all instances of it as it pertains to Kaba Ilco. The bottom line is there are no other instances of it, so there's nothing else I can discover about this through this document. Okay. Calling your attention, however, to the document is that there is a mighty amount of cross-reference information in the back of the catalog where you're able to review a part number from Ilco and convert that to a star part number. You can convert that to a Silca part number, to a Jet part number, to a Taylor part number, on and on and on. So the document is handy in that sort of regard. So you'll always want to use this document in order to assist your research on a key blank. Now, while there's nothing here on the 1533, you can certainly always use that milling profile to help you determine whether or not you're looking at the key blank. And sometimes it's difficult to determine whether it's correct or not. You can usually always determine whether it's incorrect. Now, I don't know very much about the Eagle Company, except that they were a relatively early 19th century endeavor and existed till, put it into presidential terms, I believe Martin Van Buren or Andrew Jackson may have been president when they started, and I think Gerald Ford was the president when they closed up shop permanently, and that they manufactured a variety of locks, and I believe at one point padlock type locks were their absolute most typical and common and most successful line, used to lock trunks. Trunks, I would imagine, trunks used for traveling or just general storage. I don't know much else about them. And while they've not been a business for pushing 50 years at this point, some of their key blanks obviously are still manufactured and stocked by Ilco, and that is a testament to how many of their locks must still exist, because you can still buy the key blanks. Let's finish up this video on camera. And before you maybe hop away from that manufacturer's page, not only is that key blank catalog there, but a variety of other encyclopedic type documents like manuals on their key machines, things of that nature. Their brass cylinder manual is also there. Okay. So that page is a handy resource for many things, or all things Kaba Ilco related. Now, also, you may have noticed on that page, if you look at it, there are at this time a couple of archival catalogs there. There's one dating to 1950, which is really interesting because it would, if you were doing research, you're trying to look up a key blank, you could certainly pull up that document and find what they were doing in 1950. There's also one from 1972. There's a Kaba Ilco blank, and I have them on my screen here. And while they're exceptionally large documents, they will serve as evidence of what was done mid-20th century. They'll serve as evidence as to what was done, you know, in the early 1970s. I have looked in the 1972 catalog. I don't see a 1533 key blank there at all, which I would think means I'm not going to see it in the 1950 catalog. But because they're such large files, they're a bit unwieldy. And if you're going to do those, you'll want to probably save those to your local drive and then work them that way rather than trying to manipulate them from the link online. In the 1950 catalog, there is no 1533 key blank. If I were to type in Eagle, into those books. In 1950 catalog, there are certainly Eagle key blanks that are there, a lot more than what exist in the year 2020. Lots more, in fact, dozens of key blanks. If any of them were equal to a 1533, you'd really have to study the broaching. It could be that 1533 was a much later key profile that they used. And then again, there is at least a reference to the 1972 catalog. The point of the matter is, when it comes to cylinders and locks, you are literally dealing with stuff that is not a decade old or several decades old, but in this case, you know, well over a century old. So being able to go back is really helpful. So we do upload those manufacturers' pages when we have those types of catalogs. If you have any questions, and they're sold as each, by the way, if you have any questions on the Kaba Ilco 1533 Eagle Padlock Key Blank or any other Eagle product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.